In the world of DC Comics, some villains aren't just bad, they're downright terrifying. From villains who strike fear into the hearts of heroes to those who represent pure chaos, these dark figures have pushed the limits of evil. In this video, we'll discuss the creepiest, most terrifying, darkest supervillains DC has ever created. The Joker. The Joker, Gotham's most dangerous wild card. He's not just Batman's greatest enemy, he's chaos itself. In clown makeup. He first showed up in Batman #1 back in 1940, and he's been unpredictable ever since. One minute, he's cracking jokes and pulling pranks. The next, he's got one of the highest body counts in Gotham. The Joker isn't just a lunatic, he's a different kind of crazy every time. Some writers make him a goofy trickster, others turn him into a full-on nightmare, but one thing stays the same. He loves pushing Batman to his breaking point. He believes one bad day is all it takes to turn anyone into a monster, and he's always trying to prove it. He's killed, tortured, and destroyed lives. But even the Joker has lines he won't cross. In a DC Marvel crossover, when he finds out Red Skull is a real Nazi, he fights him. His twisted logic? He may be a criminal, but he's an American criminal, and let's not forget, he's one of the few villains who actually killed Robin. If that doesn't prove he's Batman's deadliest enemy, nothing will. Darkseid is the biggest and worst villain in the DC universe. He doesn't just want to rule the world, he wants to rule everything. Created by Jack Kirby, Darkseid was made to be the ultimate evil, the one villain who could make even Superman sweat. He's the ruler of Apocalypse, a hellish planet filled with war, fire, and suffering, where everyone bows to him as their god. But that's not enough for Darkseid. His true goal? The anti-life equation, a formula that would let him control the minds of every living being in existence. No free will, no resistance, just total domination. Unlike other monsters, Darkseid isn't just about brute strength, though he has plenty of that. He's a master strategist, completely ruthless, and wields the terrifying Omega beams which can erase enemies from existence. He's fought and conquered entire universes, standing toe-to-toe with cosmic giants like Trigon and the Anti-Monitor. And just when you think he's gone, he always finds a way back. Because when you're Darkseid, death is just a minor inconvenience. Parallax, pure fear in its most terrifying form. This cosmic nightmare isn't just some villain, it's the living embodiment of fear itself. At first, Parallax was just what Hal Jordan called himself after going on a rampage. But later, it turned out he wasn't acting alone. He was being controlled by a massive insect-like parasite that feeds on fear. Yeah, that changes things. Now let's talk power. Parallax is powerful. Ridiculously powerful. It can blast through planets, create massive energy constructs, and even control the minds of others. And if that's not bad enough, it can possess people, turning them into puppets. That's how it took over Hal Jordan, one of the greatest Green Lanterns ever. But the worst part? Parallax doesn't just use fear, it is fear. It can reach someone's mind, pull out their worst nightmares, and make them real. It's fought some of the strongest heroes in the DC universe and left chaos in its wake. You can punch it, blast it, or even try to destroy it. But as long as fear exists, so does Parallax. Dr. Destiny. Dr. Destiny is one of the scariest villains in the DC universe. And it's not just because of how he looks. At first, he was just another supervillain with gadgets. But things got way worse when he got his hands on the Dreamstone, a powerful artifact that let him control people's dreams. And when Dr. Destiny is in your head, it's game over. His powers? Pure nightmare fuel. He can trap heroes in endless, twisted dreams, leaving them powerless in the real world. He can change reality, shoot blasts of dark energy, and even shapeshift into anything he wants. And thanks to his connection to magic, he's pretty much immortal. He can mess with your mind, read your deepest fears, and manipulate you into doing whatever he wants. Additionally, the Justice League has fought some terrifying villains, but few can break their minds like Dr. Destiny. Even Superman, with all his strength, can't punch his way out of a nightmare. And that's what makes Destiny so dangerous. He doesn't just fight heroes, he breaks them. Loki, the god of mischief, master of trickery, and the ultimate headache for both gods and mortals alike. He's an ancient Norse Jotun, a shapeshifter, and a constant thorn in Thor's side. He's also the father of terrifying beings like Fenrir, the massive wolf destined to fight Odin, and Jormungandr, the world serpent who wraps around Earth. Yeah, family reunions must be wild. Moreover, Loki's got god-level strength, durability, and stamina. He can go toe-to-toe with the Justice League and barely break a sweat. He's tough enough to brush off attacks, strong enough to send heroes flying. And his magic? Next level. He can cover people in unbreakable wood, deflect Green Lantern energy, and fly. Add in his advanced combat skills and deep knowledge of magic, and you've got a trickster who can outfight and outsmart his enemies. A long time ago, Loki pulled one trick too many and got chained up in a cave with a snake dripping venom on his face. Odin eventually let him out, but Loki, being Loki, ran amok, clashed with the Justice League, and messed with Dream of the Endless. In the end, Thor had to track and lock him down again. Classic Loki. Lex Luthor, Superman's greatest enemy, Metropolis's self-proclaimed savior, and the ultimate genius with a serious superiority complex. He's gone from mad scientist to billionaire businessman, but one thing's never changed. He hates Superman. Whether leading the Legion of Doom or pulling the strings behind the scenes, Lex always looks for a way to take down the Man of Steel. Beyond this, he's a mechanical, strategic, and scientific genius. He's also a total narcissist. He thinks he's the smartest person in the room. Scratch that, the world. And he never misses a chance to remind people. He's ruthless, manipulative, and completely obsessed with power. Superman represents everything Lex hates: strength, heroism, and the love of the people. So, of course, he's made it his life's mission to destroy him. Born in Smallville, Lex eventually made his way to Metropolis, where he built LexCorp and got involved with the alien villain Brainiac. At first, he tried to bring Superman down through secret deals and betrayals, but when that failed, he went bigger, staging an invasion, selling superweapons, and eventually landing in prison after a brutal fight with Superman. But Lex always comes back. He always has a plan. Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy, big, mean, and impossible to kill. Once, a man named Cyrus Gold was murdered and dumped in Slaughter Swamp, only to rise again as an undead powerhouse. Now, he's a rampaging zombie with super strength, insane durability, and a serious grudge against the living. Well, this guy is tough, like really tough. He can take massive hits without flinching, heal from almost anything, and even reattach his own limbs if they get hacked off. He doesn't eat, sleep, or breathe. He just keeps going. And when he does die, he just comes back even stronger, every time. Sometimes, he even returns with a smarter personality, but most of the time, he's a mindless brute, smashing everything in sight. Not only this, his strength is all over the place. One day, Batman knocks him out. The next, he's throwing punches that could go toe-to-toe with Superman. Magic? Energy blasts? Fire? None of it really slows him down. And thanks to the swamp's weird magic, he once had the power to control plants, which made him a nightmare for Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern. But no matter what, Grundy always comes back. Scarecrow, Gotham's master of fear. Dr. Jonathan Crane isn't just any villain. He lives to terrify people. Armed with his fear toxin, he turns even the bravest heroes into cowering wrecks, trapping them in their worst nightmares. Sometimes, he's just messing with one victim. Other times, he douses an entire city in his gas, throwing Gotham into total chaos. However, this guy's smart, like really smart. He knows psychology, chemistry, and how to mess with the human mind. His fear gas doesn't work on him, though. He's built up such a resistance that nothing rattles him anymore. And when he needs to fight, He's got skills. He's deadly with a scythe and can hold his own in a brawl. But here's where it gets crazy. For a while, Scarecrow had a monstrous side. Literally. He could transform into Scarebeast, a hulking nightmare with super strength and a built-in fear toxin thanks to genetic modifications. Batman eventually takes him down, forcing him back to normal, but the guy is still dangerous. He doesn't need brute force when he can turn your own mind against you. Magneto, aka the Master of Magnetism, is one of the most powerful mutants in the Marvel Universe. This guy controls the electromagnetic spectrum, which means he can move and shape any magnetic metal he wants. For example, steel, iron, or even the Claw's metal body. He's so skilled that he once temporarily subdued Aquaman by controlling the metal in his suit. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Magneto doesn't stop there. He can generate force fields to protect himself, unleash electrical energy, and even boost his strength to superhuman levels. Want to mess with his mind? Think again. He wears a special helmet to block telepathic attacks, but he resists psychic powers even without it. That doesn't mean he's invincible, though. Professor X's telepathy can still break through if needed. Despite this, Magneto is also incredibly smart and, with all his power, doesn't seem to age like others. So, whether it's smashing robots or facing off against heroes, this guy's a threat you don't want to mess with. Dr. Doom, in an early version of his story, wasn't always the genius villain we know today. Once, he was a jewel smuggler who got caught in Gotham City. But he wasn't staying locked up for long. He managed to escape by hiding inside an ancient Egyptian coffin, which Batman and Robin, completely unaware of Doom's presence, later placed in their Batcave as a trophy. Furthermore, as the sneaky guy he is, Doom used the trophies around him to set traps for Batman and Robin. But Doom tried to attack Batman with a grenade during the big showdown. However, in the process, he accidentally locked himself inside the coffin while attempting to escape the explosion. That mistake led to his suffocation. This version of Dr. Doom was erased from existence after the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths, but later returned during the Dark Crisis. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Then make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.